Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Let me just throw this out there real quick for the Crawford fanatics, right? Terence Crawford, whoever he gets in the ring with, I think he has a chance, okay? I want to make sure you heard that first. But on this channel, we like to have conversations, okay? So the conversation topic is, this whole thing with Crawford and Canelo. For Terence Crawford, is that more about the money? Or is that really him focusing on legacy and really wanting legacy? Because I'm going to tell you what, in the comment sections, on some of the videos I put out, the YouTube shorts I put out, oh boy, talk about people not holding their horses and taking it to the stupid. Matter of fact, taking it beyond the stupid. Hey, that's a fair conversation. Now, let's just be honest now and understand what happened. All right? Terence Crawford, after he beat Earl Spence, this whole thing about fighting Jermell Charlo, right? Remember, he was there at the ring after he had hurt Earl Spence, grabbing on his private area, shouting stuff at Jermell Charlo. And that seemed to have been, the focus. Possible rematch with Earl Spence, Jermell Charlo, possibly becoming a three-time undisputed, right? But then the conversation started coming up about, hey, Jermell's fighting Canelo. Hey, possibility that maybe Crawford can get in the mix, okay? Canelo was shooting it down, but then Canelo said a few things that made people say, hold on, there's a possibility of the fight happening. That Crawford definitely would have to come all the way up to 168. But this is the thing. Crawford initially, right? Initially he was like, it's too much weight, right? His whole thing was, hey, 154, 160, possible catch weight, etc. But we understand Canelo's the A side. We all, look, most of us should know that. Even though I get people who want to remind me, okay, which is all good, just having a conversation. But my thing is, if Crawford initially said there's weight classes for a reason, 160 is the sweet spot, for him to now come and say, hey, I will go to 168 to fight Canelo. That's when I went from saying Crawford's focus is more legacy, right? When he was talking about the 154, maybe 160, but the fact that he was willing to go up to a weight where he knows, according to him, right, that they have weight division for a reason. And initially he wasn't talking about going up there, that was too big. But for him to go somewhere where initially what he conveyed to us is that 168 is just too much weight for him. But to go there, to be at a weight disadvantage against someone like Canelo, that made me feel my man is really about the dough. It ain't really necessarily about legacy. Now I get it. Canelo Alvarez, undisputed at 168. This could be the opportunity for Terence Crawford to possibly pick up a third undisputed distinction, although it's, 1, 2, 3 weight divisions above where he's at currently. For those who didn't know, Jermell Charlo is no longer an undisputed champion. Once he got in that ring with Canelo, the WBO stripped him, which I think is foul. But hey, politics, right? Secret societies, they're alive and well, and they're active. More active than Craig Mack and the 5'5", or whatever the hell he be saying. But I didn't think nobody's more active than Craig Mack, but anyway, secret society is more active than the Craig Mack and his little gang. But that being said, Terence Crawford going up, what makes him believe that he can beat Canelo? And see, and this is the question that I'm asking you. Don't come telling me about oh, he's strong or he lifts weights. I know that. You got a person who's saying there's weight division for a reason. They don't want to go there. Now he wants to go there. Let me tell you something. I personally think with him, and he said this, these aren't my words. It's about making the most money possible now. And I think that's really what it's all about with Terence Crawford. I'm not saying he's not going to try. I'm not saying he's going to get in there and lay down. That's not what I'm saying. But I think his thing is like, you know what? Let me go up here and try to make as much money possible in a fight that's for legacy. And if I'm going to lose against somebody, which he doesn't believe he's going to lose, he doesn't think like that, he doesn't talk like that. But let me go ahead and bang with Canelo. Especially after looking at Jermell Charles' performance, I think everyone is in agreement that Terence Crawford will put up a much better effort. However, we don't know, because it's like Mike Tyson said. He says everyone has a plan till they get punched in the face. I say, once the real deal starts, if you're going to beat Al Capone, go all the way. And when these guys get hit, that whole thing about Al Capone, they don't want to go all the way. When the real deal starts, things start changing in that ring form. And like Mike Tyson says, people have a plan till they get punched in the face, right? But I would like to see what happened if Crawford hit Canelo in the face. See, there's such an intrigue surrounding this boxing match. There's a uniqueness to having Crawford bubble up 3 weight divisions and possibly put up a much better fight than Jermell Charlo. As long as he fights, okay, I think Crawford will be lauded. However, I have to say this. I asked the question, is Crawford a defensive fighter or more of an offensive fighter? Majority of people think he's a defensive fighter, but there are some who think he's an offensive fighter. And this is where I don't think anyone's right or wrong, but I personally think he's defense first. I think he's defense first. Majority of people think that, but there's a handful who don't believe that. But I tell you what, if he gets in that ring with Canelo, right, we're going to see just how much Crawford is offensively focused and prioritizes in offense, and how much he is defensively focused and prioritized in defense. Because like I say, when the real deal starts, we're going to see who runs for the hills. And I will say, as Crawford has a very good chance on catching Canelo with something he doesn't see. Because Crawford catches a lot of his opponents with things they don't see. And that just has to do with those angles, that speed, that southpaw stance, the damn right-handed fighter. Crawford brings it all to the table. Intelligence, anticipation, timing, being off rhythm. You just can't do the things that Crawford does unless you train on that. It takes years to develop the skill set that he has. But that being said, a 36, 37-year-old Crawford in there with Canelo. Look, Canelo's 3-4 years younger than Crawford, but Canelo still has a lot of wear and tear on him. We're going to have to wait and see. Because the people out here are still talking about, and I think it's all crap, but I do think, and I'm going to say this, I think anytime you have a fighter who has a pharmaceutical genius helping them prepare for a fight, I think their opponent should make sure they have a pharmaceutical genius too. And what I mean is talking about Terence Crawford and Victor Conte. You see, when you have someone there who understands supplementation, they can make sure that you're getting the right supplements that can help you perform at an optimal level. It doesn't have to be illegal. That's the thing people, when I talk about the cocktail, the Conte cocktail, the Heredia cocktail, the Ariza cocktail, the Usman Sajjad cocktail. Yeah, all those guys' names have been mixed up in bad stuff. But at the end of the day, let's sit that aside for a second and just focus on their brilliance and how they've mastered pharmaceuticals. And they know how to put things together that can enhance a fighter's performance, that can help them with their recovery, and just overall give them the best chance of winning a fight. And I really think for Canelo, people don't let Canelo forget about the whole beef thing and Mexican beef and all that crap. Nobody's going to let Canelo. escape that. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm doing this video, I'm talking about the Victor Conte cocktail and Crawford being on snack and how I think that could help with his performance in the ring, which that's what fighters are supposed to do, right? Hell, if you go to the gym and you start lifting weights, how many people back in the day, I used to lift a lot of weights. I used to box. I used to lift a lot of weights too, right? Was it NO2 explode? You get in the gym, it makes a difference, you know what I mean? Making sure you're taking protein before you pump iron, take it after, drink a little can of juice, eat an apple, the sugar, the transport, get the protein to your muscle, man, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole process behind that. But once you know how to take all that stuff, you will see a difference in your performance in the gym and your body will change. And then when you have the right, diet, which these guys have dietitians and nutritionists, that's why you see their bodies change and they perform at a level that is beyond comprehension, especially as they start to get older and get to an advanced age. You start to see these guys getting faster and stronger past 32, 33. That's unheard of. I mean, hey, not everybody can be a Bernard Hopkins. So when you see it happening, you better believe it's not because these guys are sitting there eating grandma's pork chops with gravy and taters. Hell no. They got brilliant people in their corners to make sure that they're doing what's necessary to give them the best chance when they get in that ring. And this may be something that could be a big difference in the fight. But who knows what Canelo is doing? You know what I'm saying? But I think that could matter. I mean, you just take a look at. I talk about it in a lot of videos, man, and I'm not joking right now, man. But look at Caleb Plant when he fought Durrell. But Caleb Plant is naturally left-handed. He fights orthodox. So if he catches you with a shot you don't see, like that left hook, you gonna feel it. But when he's out here taking the snack products and everything else, and he got the pharmaceutical genius and the right supplementation strategy and ability to recover and stuff like that, he's gonna go in there with a bit of an edge if his opponent isn't doing something similar. And you saw when he got in there with David Benavidez. Benavidez has never looked like that. But you know what the secret weapon was there? They had Heredia. So they were able to offset what Caleb Plant was doing with Snack and Conte. So they met fire with fire. And you saw how that fight was. Caleb Plant had a lot of success early. But over time, you just saw that it was a level playing field. And you saw what happened. Benavidez just started stepping to him, just like he normally does in boxing matches. But he was able to really put his foot on the gas in this one. You know what I'm saying? So I just think there's a lot of people who have pharmaceutical geniuses in their camps, whether they're names that are known like Usman Sajjad, Heredia, Ariza, Conte. But there are other guys out there who are just as brilliant. We just may not know about them. And there are a lot of guys that have these people there to help them out, to make sure that they have, like I said, to give them that edge they need, to make sure they have that confidence going in the ring that, hey, I'm going to be able to perform and come out here and start stepping from the first second of the first round to the last second of the last round. My punch resistance will be better. Overall conditioning will be better. My power will be better. My speed will be better. Just everything. But that being said, it's going to be very interesting to see if the fight happens like more towards the end of 2024. I tell you what, they may be back in a corner where that Crawford-Canelo fight really does happen, but it ain't going to happen anytime soon. Could be the end of 2024, early 2025, but at least in the near future, it's not happening. But if it does, I would say that I would have to give Crawford a good chance in that fight to at least make it interesting. Because when you start peeling the layers back and having a conversation, I favor Canelo to win the fight, all right? Simple. Triple G couldn't damage him. Bivol, how's Crawford going to do it? But if Crawford, over the next 3 fights or so, bubbles up to 154, fills out, just like he said when he was 140 to 147, it was a process for him to grow into 147. Now he's kind of growing out of it. Now he's up to 154. Over the next 3 fights, he may, grow out of 154 to 160. Now the gap's been closed. You understand? Now the gap's been closed. So as far Crawford going from 154, 160 to 168, you see, I don't think it'll be as much of a conversation. It'll be more like, okay, the time is right now. Try to make that fight. But we don't know. But I do think Crawford is someone, this is a fact I'm giving you, who it's not easy for him to make 147 either. A lot of people don't know that. It's not easy for him to make 147. 154 is a sweet spot. But I'm going to tell you what, that 154, he grows into that. I have a feeling he's going to grow after 2-3 fights there. He's going to grow into 160. And that is when you want to look at him maybe bubbling up that other 8 pounds to try to get that Canelo fight. But who knows? He may lose. Canelo may lose. Crawford may retire. We just don't know what's going to happen. But I think that's the natural order of progression for Terence Crawford, any fighter who's looking to go and bang with someone who's the best in that division and recognizes pound for pound best, is to be smart and grow into the weight. But it all boils down to me, if he jumps straight from 147 to 168, let's say the stars align, the secret society says, you know what, we want that fight next. And it happens, because it can happen, right? Anything can happen. Crawford going from 147 to 168, I don't care what you think. Yeah, the fact that he's fighting Canelo for those 4 belts at 168 could make him 3-time. That's legacy. I get it. But that's 95% a money grab. And I'm not saying he's wrong. Just facts. That's 95% a money grab. The other 5% is, hey, just so happens I can pick up these belts. But we got to wait and see, because my concern is how. I do think Crawford and Canelo will sell more pay-per-view than Jamel, Charlo, and Canelo. I think as long as Crawford maintains this buzz, I tell you, and that's something that the secret society may look at and say, yo, we got to strike while the iron's hot, because it can cool off. That's how boxing is. But boy, right now, if they were to announce Crawford against Canelo, it's in the works. Yo, the entire universe would flip upside down. And trust me, there's smart people out there who know that. But let's just wait and see how it plays out. Let's hold our horses and not take it to the stupid. But just got to wait and see what's up. That being said, that's the question. Is Crawford more about money with Canelo or legacy? And I personally think for him, he feels like, hey, he already feels like I didn't need Earl Spence. I'm going to the Hall of Fame. Just so happened to get that fight. He had to wait a long time to get that fight. That's something else we got to look at. How long is he going to be willing to wait to fight Canelo? To grow into the weight? Or is he just like, give it to me now. I ain't got time to roll the dice and wait 6, 7, 8 years. I need that as soon as possible. Win, lose, or draw. I'm already in the history books. Give me this fight. I need that money so I can sail off into the sunset. That's fair. That's a fair conversation. It's a fair assessment, man. But anyway, y'all keep cool. More to come on Crawford, Canelo. We can have this conversation all day. But that's how I feel. And I do think you still got to give Crawford a chance, because there's something special about him. But I would favor Canelo. Y'all keep cool. In the breeze.